Hey you guys, welcome back to another episode of Elena Demonetized. This week we're going to be talking about the breakup. Let's get into it. So Elena, why don't you tell everyone what happened between you and Alpha Wolf?
So we broke up.
Right.
I feel like because I made our relationship so public that I should at least give everyone like a breakup reason as to why we broke up.
Like closure in a sense.
Closure, yeah. And it's going to be funny because like I'm always the one doing the interviewing. So today I'm getting interviewed. So it's really nice.
Right.
But yeah, I made our relationship so public that I feel like it's only fair that I also give closure to the world.
Makes sense. Okay, so go on. So what exactly happened between you two?
Well, we just broke up, and the reason why the reason why we broke up is because like you know a lot of the breakup already. Right. So basically we were in so we were fine for the first beginning of our relationship, and then he went to Bakersfield for like 2 days to see family.
When was this?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. We're jumping right into it. We're not like doing a timeline or anything.
We'll do the timeline later, but
okay.
So he goes to Bakersfield to see family for 2 days.
Yeah.
And then he comes back, and then he's like, things are great. We're fine. You know, we go into bed. We're about to get ready for bed. And then later he just goes, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I'm like, do what? And he was like, this relationship. And I was like, okay. So we're broken up. And he was like, yeah, we're broken up.
Okay, just like out of nowhere, there had to be stuff like building towards this, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because like he was in Bakersfield seeing family and I was at home for the 2 days, and then later he just came back and just broke up with me. And then you knew about it. I texted you and I was like, we just broke up, Danny. And then
I did. And so she went ahead and texted me. She's like, so we just broke up. And I'm like, okay, but I feel like you guys do this like all the time. Like you're very back and forth. You break up 1 week and make up the next. Like, you know, so I wasn't really sure like what was going to happen between you guys. But I think the fact that we're making this podcast right now, I think it's more of like a closure like episode. And I think that this kind of actually makes it real.
Yeah.
In a sense. Okay.
And yeah, and so I was like, okay, then just get out of the house. And if we're broken up, you don't need to stay here. And then he's like explaining to me like why he wanted to break up, and I was like, I don't care. Stop talking. I don't care. Like, we're broken up right now. It doesn't matter what you're saying, because like we're broken up. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You have to explain yourself. Just get out.
So you didn't let him explain in the moment?
No, because I didn't want to listen to it. Like, we're broken up. Why does it matter?
Did you guys end up talking about it like after? Like, do you know exactly the reason?
I kind of like got an understanding of why we broke up, and I'll tell you in a bit. But,
okay, right.
Yeah. So I packed up all his stuff that night, and then he was out, and then gave it to him, and then that was Sunday, and then the next day was Monday.
Okay.
He had a porn shoot in LA.
Okay.
And then he left in the morning, and yeah, he left in the morning, and then he just was gone for like a week straight. Like just got like
MIA or whatever. Like
just gone.
Okay.
Somewhere in Calabasas at like a house, and he just wasn't coming home. And I was like, dude, like, where the fuck are you? Like, your 10-year-old's at home right now.
Right.
And, like, I'm going over there making sure he's okay. And he just wasn't home. And, yeah, and so, like, after he broke up with me, he left for, like, 7 days. And he was like, I just need to get some time to myself. And, like, blah, blah. But in those 7 days, like, he just became very interesting, which you know this as well, because we talked about it.
Why don't you go ahead and, you know, explain, give a little story time of everything. What was he doing in that week?
So he started to get so he's always been very spiritual, but then out of nowhere he just got extremely spiritual.
Right.
Like super spiritual, and I'm not like that. And so he started talking about like
oddly spiritual or like normal spiritual, because there's like a difference between the two. I mean, I grew up in the church, and so I kind of understand like, you know, a spiritual person, a religious person and stuff. So, like, was it anything, like, it was just very out of the ordinary and outside of his character?
Yes.
Okay.
And so he got really spiritual, and he just talked about him being in alignment with his body, in alignment with his spirit, in alignment with his soul. And, like, everything that he was talking was just, like, relating to God, spirituality, And then he was like, I've just been finding myself, this and that. And then it was just really weird because like he broke up with me and then went to fucking go party in the Abbey. Like he was at the Abbey.
You're kidding.
He was at the Abbey. Yeah.
Abbey?
He was at the Abbey.
You don't say.
And then,
that's crazy.
Yeah, he was at the Abbey and then just like partying. And then lady started following all these trannies on Twitter and started liking a bunch of like tranny stuff. Like,
oh my word.
Yeah, like as soon as he broke up with me, he started following all these trannies, liking all these trans like Twitters, like these OnlyFans content creators and stuff.
Sorry to cut you off,
Go
but
for
like you said that he was getting really spiritual and like about like the church and stuff, but like but he was out partying.
Exactly, I don't get it.
So which one is it? I mean, was he like, I don't know, going to church in the morning and then hitting the clubs at night? I mean, you can definitely do like, manage both. I mean, I do, but like,
I don't get
it. It just sounds like a lot of partying and using, I don't know, God as like a cover up maybe. Or?
No, and so all my friends were thinking that he was using like spirituality as kind of like as like an excuse to like break up with me. I don't know, but this is just what I saw while we were broken up. So I would check his location. He would like be at the Abbey. And then
hanging out at the Abbey.
And then the next morning, he was like in jail. And so I was kind of like,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the next morning, because the oldest son texted me in the morning. He was like, bro, look where my dad's location is. And I'm like, okay. So I check, and it was in like
jail.
And so I was like, what did your dad do last night? And so he was like, can you call them and ask? And so I called the jail, and I'm like, hey, like, what the fuck happened? And then he was like, the county office comes just like, oh, DUI, so it's kind
DUI?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay.
So you got a DUI.
I was like, makes sense. Like, he was fucking partying at the Abbey, and then...
that's just, like, so crazy to me. I don't want to say, like, too much and stuff, but, like, that's pretty careless. I don't know, like... So he's, like, gone rogue, just, like, off the rails.
Yeah, and I think the reason why is because, like, when we were together, I wouldn't let him do any of that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah, you kept him in line, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember... honestly, everything. I think I remember, a lot of the fights you've had.
Yeah.
And it was a lot to do with, like, his partying and drinking.
Yeah,
and
because,
stuff.
like, so keep in mind, like, this is a man that kind of spent his 20s, like, doing drugs and, like, getting addicted to drugs. And he's been really open about all that on the podcast, too. And then now that he's kind of, like, in his 30s, he's, like, wanting to do all that again. Well, 37. He's like wanting to do it all again because now he's like, he's getting fit, he's getting hotter. Like now he's in porn, so he's getting attention from all these hot girls, and he's like wanting to like tap into that because he never had that when he was in his 20s.
Look, like partying in general, like everyone parties, like it's a thing, but like partying in moderation, like to what point, like are you just partying to party? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing with him is kind of just like because of his like addictive mindset with drugs in the past, he doesn't know when his limit is. Okay. And so that's where I came in and I knew what his limits were.
Right.
Because I don't drink or do any
drugs. You were always really good at keeping him in check.
I was keeping him in check to make sure he never fucked up, he never slipped up. And then, yeah, that was that. And so, like, when he broke up with me, he was kind of like, oh my God, he's probably like, fuck yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want now. I can probably like, I can follow these trannies, I can hit up these girls.
Almost felt like a sense of his freedom was, brought back and like...
But then, like...
But it's, like, to what... I don't know, at what expense? Like, he's losing you.
Yeah, he, like, had that freedom for, like, less than a week, and what the fuck happened, So it's kind of, like, I saw that. And then that's when I finally messaged him, and I was like, you broke up with me to go do this? Like, I was like, you broke up with me to go to the Abbey, to go party, get arrested, DUI, go to jail. Was it all worth it? Like, was this worth it? Was this worth the breakup? Like, are you happy now? And he was like, yes, it was totally worth it. He was like, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life.
Oh, please, dude. Like, give me a break. Are you kidding?
And then that's when the spirituality started to come in. He was like, this is the path that God wanted me to take. And I was like,
to get a DUI.
I was like, what? And then he was like, I've been spending time with me, myself, and being aligned with God and being aligned with my spirit.
Do you think that he was also doing tons of drugs while partying?
I honestly don't know what he was doing, but like every time I've gone out with him, like he would drink to like, he doesn't know when his limits were. And so like, I don't know, like I remember the first time him and I ever went out to like San Diego, he would like, we're at this gay club and he like was on ketamine, and then like I found out a lot of things that I found out later on that he was doing in the beginning that I didn't know about drug related wise, that he told me he wasn't, but then like I then found out later. Like,
and at that point it's like you're already
invested,
too far into it. Things already, tied together, and so that's crazy.
Yeah, like in the beginning, he was like doing ketamine while with me, and then he was saying he wasn't doing any drugs at all, but he was doing ketamine the entire time. And then he admitted to it later on. He's saying how like the beginning, the half of the like relationship, he was just like on ketamine, and then how he was like he did ketamine at that. So we went out one night, and then he got really interesting, and then I was like, what the fuck, like that's not just drunk, like that's not drunk behavior.
What
and then,
night was this?
The San Diego and Riches night, when he started making out with all these dudes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he was like making out with all these guys, grabbing their dicks in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck, like you have a girlfriend, why are you grabbing these guys' dicks, and like there's no camera here, you're not getting paid for this, so like why are you kissing all these other guys in front of me? And I found out later he was doing ketamine that night, and that's why he was like acting that way. And then later that one time we went to the OC fair.
I remember that night.
We're with all the girls, and then he had to leave early because he was like paranoid. I then found out later he was on LSD, and so
he was on LSD that night.
He took LSD. Yeah, he like took it before we went to the county fair, and that's why I had to leave early with you guys. Like
right.
Like I was so mad because like
you were so excited to go to the OC fair with like everyone and their boyfriends and stuff.
Yeah, because all my friends were there. Later, I had to literally leave as soon as I got there because he took LSD and he was tripping out. And then I was trying to figure out like what he was on.
And he said that night he was on just had anxiety or something.
Yeah, he blamed on his anxiety, but he was on LSD.
And so you found out how many months later? Almost like a year later.
Like
right?
Yeah, like I found out later because it was the 15-year-old who like outed him.
He knew the whole time?
Yeah. Because I was talking to the 15-year-old about like that night, and then he was like, oh yeah, you were on LSD, Dad. And then I was like, you were on what? And he was like, oh, you didn't know? And I was like, no, your dad said he wasn't on anything. Later he was like, oh no, like Dad was on LSD. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when it all made sense why he was like tripping out the way that he was. And so,
I remember that night I came back here and I slept over, remember?
Yeah.
And you were literally like sitting with him, like trying to calm him down. Everything was just right in front of our faces, and I don't know.
Yeah, and so that was that. And then the reason why I don't want him drinking is because of this one incident.
Are we going to talk about the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah.
The day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So him and I went out to
okay.
We went out with Danny, and then we were drinking with Danny's friends.
This was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then later prior he was like smoking weed, doing mushrooms, and then went to the bar and then was mixing all kinds of alcohol, like whiskey, rum, vodka, tequila, just mixing all kinds of alcohol. And then throughout the night, he was being very, like, interesting. Like, he would start off fun, and then later he just got really, like, aggressive towards me. And he would be, like, at the bar, like, you were with your friends, but when this was me and him, I was tired that night. Like, I was really tired, but I sat out and I wanted him to have a good time. So
you were tired, I remember.
I was so tired.
I thought you were crying, but you were yawning.
No, I was just so tired. And I was like, like, we'll stay so you can have a fun time. And then he just started being really interesting. He was like, oh, wow, look at all the hot guys here. I bet you want to fuck them, huh? And I was like, dude, I'm not even doing anything. I told him, I was like, I'm literally just sitting here, like, yawning, minding my own business. And later he was like, I bet you just want to fuck all the guys here, huh? You want to fuck these guys? Go ahead, go fuck them. Go fuck them. And I was like, dude, like, I'm not even doing anything. And then he was like, what did he say? He was like, you're being such, like, a cunt right now. Like, your fucking attitude.
He was saying this at the bar when I was there.
Yes, but, like, you were with your friends. It was just me and him. But he was like, you're being such a fucking cunt. Like, your attitude is fucking annoying. Like you look like, you look annoyed. He was, like, saying something about my looks. And he was saying, like, you look like a fucking cunt. You look like hard to look at right now. And I was like, dude.
Like, saying the most outlandish things.
Yes. And I was like, dude, like, I just told you I'm tired. It's not that I'm not having fun. I'm just letting you have fun with the girls and with your friends. I don't mind sitting here because I'm tired, but like, you haven't gone out, so I want you to have fun. And so it just got really to the point where he was just being too much, and I was like, okay, we're leaving. And so I took him home, and as we're going home, he's like chilling out. And so I was like, let's get him in the shower. And so like, as he's showering, I'm like rinsing him, I'm like playing with him, like he's drunk, we're laughing. And then I bring him in the shower, I'm like bathing him, showering him. And then later, I had like the shower, like just running, like the shower running. And then I stepped out because I was done.
Right.
So I'm like drying myself off outside of the bathtub. And then he was in there still. And so the water's like hitting him. And he's like, He's like, okay, I'm done. And then within 1 second, he was like, Elena, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, turn the fucking shower off. And just got really aggressive.
Like, scarily aggressive.
And I was like, dude, like, the shower, like, I'm not even in the shower. If you want to turn it off, just turn the knob. It turns off. But he just started yelling at me because he thought that I was in there, like, hosing him down, but I wasn't. I was outside. The water's just running in the shower. And so later, I turn it off, and then I bring him out, and then he starts fucking cussing at me so fucking much, saying the most rudest things ever.
Right.
And then later he spits in my face. Yeah. And so he spits in my face, and that's when I get upset. And I'm like, spit in my fucking face one more time. Spit in my face one more fucking time. So we're arguing back and forth. He's blacked out drunk. And then later, homeboy just fucking chokes me. Chokes the fuck out of me. And like, I'm on the floor at this point. Chokes the fuck out of me. And he's like holding me down, choking me so hard. And I'm just literally down there, like, fucking catching my breath, trying to kick him off, like, push him off, doing what I can to just get him off of me. And then as soon as he, like, finally lets go, I'm, like, screaming. I'm like, get your fucking hands off me. Don't fucking touch me. And I'm screaming like fucking crazy, like bloody murder, like at fucking 3 a.m. And so later, he goes out to my living room, breaks everything in my house. Like, he just trashes everything, like all my glasses, throws everything, just breaking things.
Not okay at all.
No, it's not. But like, he's like breaking things left and right, just breaking everything. And I'm not even lying about this. I have the voice memo.
I know.
You heard it.
I've
you know,
seen
like
everything.
Yeah,
I've seen the footage.
Yeah, the second that this went down, I literally like started recording everything because I was like, this is scary for me.
You know, in a sense, like, you weren't at all like in a healthy relationship, and so obviously I wasn't okay with it when you told me and everything. But I'm just so glad that you have come to your senses and you're like able to, like, you know, not be tied to that anymore, because that's just not okay. I mean, no one deserves that, especially a woman, and it's just really sad.
Yeah. And so after that, he like started like breaking more of my shit, and the 15-year-old comes over, and then I'm like, dude, like, get your fucking dad. Like, he's literally like trying to beat me the fuck up right now. But by then, like, my house is fucking trash. And then later there's like a hole in my fucking wall. Like, everything's just fucking trash all over the place. Everything spilled. And then he like just couldn't get his dad. And so later he finally left, both of them. And then Alpha Wolf keeps coming back throughout the night to just like break more shit. He would come back in the house, starts yelling at me, chasing me around the house. I'm running around the house because I'm like, he's gonna fucking touch me and choke me the fuck out again. And then he chokes me again right here on this fucking couch. And the 15-year-old seeing this too. I'm like screaming for him to help me. I'm like, get your fucking dad. Like, please just get your dad out of here. Like, just do something. Like, get him out of here. Because he's literally like, he keeps chasing me around the house. Like, he keeps putting hands on me. And he keeps breaking all my shit. And so I told the 15-year-old, I was like, I want to call the cops. Like, I'm going to call the cops because, like, this is not okay. And he was like, no, like, please don't call the cops. Like, please don't call the cops. Like, they're going to, like, arrest my dad and take my dad. And I was like, then help me out here because, like, you're not helping me. No one's helping me. Like, I'm by myself against this big-ass man. Like, I want to call the cops. I don't feel fucking safe. And so he just wouldn't let me call the cops. And so I didn't. I was like, all right, fine. I won't call the cops for the sake of you so that you don't lose your dad. Like, I won't call the cops. And so throughout the night, he just kept banging on my fucking door. The door's locked. He keeps banging on it and just wouldn't stop banging. So I would have to open it because I don't want to wake the neighbors up. And so I would open the door, and then he would just come back, trash my house, cuss me out some more, say more shit to me.
That's literally like insane. Like,
yeah, you saw the video. You saw the security camera footages.
I saw everything.
You heard the voice memo. Like, you heard everything. And so it's just like I had to deal with that all the way up until 5 a.m. And then he would fall asleep, wake back up, and like start yelling some more. And he would just come over to him and just start cussing at me in my face. I'm just sitting there like listening because I don't want to like interrogate him and just like add more fuels to the fire. So I'm just sitting there, and he's just like going off and just saying like the most aggressive shit ever. And he's like, at that point it was scary because like I'm like, this man's drunk, he's blacked out, he's not in the right state of mind. Like, I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know what he's gonna do. So I'm just gonna sit here and just like be neutral and just like not even say a single thing. Yeah. Just like he can just like get it out of his system. And so we wake up in the morning, and then I was like, how much of it do you remember? And he's like, I remember us at the bar going home, and that's about it. And I thought that was so unfair, and I was so mad because like I had to deal with all of this. You know, I was like, I had to deal with kind of just like, one, getting choked the fuck out. I had to deal with my house getting trashed. I had to deal with the trauma like that caused, and my house is like torn apart. that's coming out of my deposit. And I'm like, and what about you? Like, you just like, you wake up scotch free. You don't remember any of it. Your house is fine. You and your kids are fine. You know, like, I remember being upset about that for the longest time because it was just so unfair.
I don't know how, I mean, I really thought that was the end, and then it wasn't. And I just like, obviously it's not my relationship. I can't, make you do what you don't want to do or whatever. And so how was it the next morning? Like, obviously all trust is broken. Like,
of course.
You don't trust him at all. Like, it's crazy. Like,
it was just,
you couldn't even probably look at him. Like,
I was just like,
you're the one person you're supposed to trust the most in the whole entire world.
I was just disgusted that I had to that I went through that.
And then you stayed like together for the kids.
Yeah, because I told the kids, I was like, I want to leave your dad, but they were like no, like, please don't leave them, like, please don't leave him, like, you're the best we've ever had. And so I was like, all right, fine, like, I'll stay for you guys, like, I'll stay to be in your guys' life.
And then I remember he cleaned up his act and he got sober, if I'm not
up until a certain point.
Till like when though? Cause
yeah, and so I told him about that night, and I was like, I want you to hear the voice memo. I want you to hear what you did. And he wouldn't even listen to it. He was like, no, I don't want to hear it. And I was like,
couldn't
really?
Even like take accountability.
I'm like, you don't want to hear it? Like, what you would want to hear what you were saying? Like, so you just really don't remember any of it. Like, that's lucky for you. You don't have to live with that. You know, I do. And so he was like, I'm never going to drink again. Like, you have my word. Like, I'm just never going to drink again. And I was like, all right, fine. Like, acceptable. And then later there'll be like times where like we would go out and he would want to get a drink. And then we went to like the Tea Awards recently. And then that night, it was like the Trans Erotica Awards for all the trans porn stars.
Okay.
And so obviously there's drinks. And I was like, you're not drinking tonight. Like, I'm not going to deal with you being messy and crazy in front of all these like trannies at an award show. Like, you're not drinking tonight. We go there. He goes to the bar. And I'm like, dude, like, I told you you're not drinking. And he was like, I'll just have one beer.
You never told me that, I don't think.
Well, I don't think I did. Yeah. He was like, I'll have one beer. And I'm like, you're not drinking at all. Like, I don't want you drinking at all. And so later, while I was like making conversation, he had someone else buy him a beer because I wouldn't do it.
That's like actually so sneaky, and that's like literally drug addict behavior.
Yeah, he literally went to the bathroom, had some guy like, he's like sent money to some guy so that guy can buy him a drink. He comes back with 2 beers in his hand. And I was like, dude, like, I just told you I don't want you to drink, and I have a legit reason as to why I don't want you to drink because of what happened, you know?
During that time, I thought he was sober. I thought, like, you guys, like, stopped going out with us. I didn't want to be around him when there was alcohol because, like, after that whole thing happened, I was scared of him. Like, I could only come around when he was sober. He was such a nice guy when he was sober.
No, he is. And
so it's the weirdest thing. And I looked at him so funny for the longest time because I tried hard to like him for you. I really did.
Yeah.
And so it's just crazy the way things, played out and stuff. And so.
Yeah. And so later, after that, we sat down to watch the award show. And then Josie was sitting at our table, the owner of Tuck It Up. And then later she ordered like bottle service.
Okay.
And so I'm like watching him the entire time. I'm like, you're not taking any of these shots. He fucking took like 4 shots.
So yeah, he's just totally ignoring everything you're saying.
Yeah, and so I was like,
did you ever think at any like point in that night, like, I'm gonna walk out of here and just go home, leave his ass here?
No, because I just like, I can't do that. But yeah, and so like he would just take like 1 shot and just like hide it, and then like slowly like take it like another one and just like slowly take another one. He took 4 shots total, I counted. And then I told him, I was like, this is so like, I have a legit reason for why I don't want you drinking was because of that one time you got really aggressive with me and you promised me that you would never ever drink again.
You're probably like scared of him at that point.
Of course.
Like,
and so I was just like, so why are you sitting here like disrespecting my wishes? Like, I don't want you to drink. And then you're just going to do it anyways in front of me. Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, it's kind of like you just not even caring, like, oh, there's a chance that I can get aggressive with that and like hurt this bitch again. Yeah. But fuck it. Like, I want to take a shot. I'm going to take 4. And I'm like,
partying is more important than my relationship.
Exactly. Like, because like it's a 50-50 chance that you can end up like, that he could end up getting aggressive again. And he knows that. And he like just kept taking shots. And I was like, you just don't respect me at all. And like, that's when I'm kind of like, that's not cool. And so after that, he started to get really funny. And like, he started like being really catty. And so I was kind of like, yeah, that's it, we're going home. And so I took him home and then put him to bed. And then, yeah, but like, even with that, I'm kind of just like, you choked the love of your life out, And then like, I have a legit reason for why I don't want you drinking again. You go out and you drink again. And it's kind of like, it's kind of like you disregard my wishes. You don't even care if you're like hurt, like this girl that you love so much. You know, you're gonna drink
It's
again.
like barely a relationship at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like you gave me. The thing with me is kind of like I'm really big on my word. Once I give my word, like I hold like accountability to it. Like I never break my promises, and so he knows that, and he's given me like so much of his word, and like he's always like broken them. And even in the beginning, the very, very beginning when we got together, I wanted to leave him already because when we first got together, we set up boundaries for like his porn.
Right. I remember the story as well. Okay, so what happened with
the
that?
boundaries was kind of just like no more trans porn.
Okay.
No more shooting content with females, just gay stuff. And he was like down for that. And I remember I would bring up these boundaries like very often just so he can get it in his fucking head that like these are the boundaries that like I'm asking and that he even like suggested, you know?
Right.
And so that would make our relationship work while him doing porn. I was like, even I said it, he was like, I make more money doing gay stuff anyways. So like the trans porn, like I can cut it out, no problem, because like, I don't really make that much doing trans stuff. And I was like, that's fine.
Right,
and
I remember that.
And so later he would always be going to work, flying out of town, booking scenes, this and that. And he would always be like, oh yeah, it's a gay scene. It's a gay scene. It's a gay scene. It's a gay scene. And then later I find out like it was like a lot of tranny scenes.
Wow.
Because like
that was early on, you said?
That was like in the beginning of the relationship. He would fly out to like film all these gay scenes.
So if it was so early on, you still just wanted to stay. You were just like...
Well, I wanted to leave him, but I stayed for the kids, you know?
Right.
And so then I find out months later when the trailers get released, I was like, wait a minute.
You put two and two together.
Yeah, because
like looking at dates.
No, here's the thing though, because when he got with me, I gave him a specific haircut.
Okay.
A fade.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're looking at hairstyles and stuff.
And yeah, and then I gave him a gold chain, and he had his ring on, his wedding band, and so a lot of these scenes, the gold chain was on, the wedding band was on.
You think he'd be smart enough to, I don't know, maybe take it off?
But he didn't. The wedding band was on his finger. The haircut was the haircut that I gave him. And so that's when I was kind of like, wait a minute, this was during the time that you met me. This is when we were together, which we established these boundaries way in the beginning. And I was like, and then there'd be more scenes coming out and more scenes coming out. And I was like, oh my God, like how many scenes are there? And that just really broke a lot of our trust. And then later, he did another scene and he like, there was just so many scenes that, and then I find out that he did another scene, the fifth scene that he did, like the fifth trans scene that he did, and I just got so mad because this was when I found out it all came out at once, and I just like broke everything in my house. I got so upset.
You broke everything?
I broke everything in my house. I broke no, I didn't break everything. I just threw 3 photo frames.
Damn.
I threw them fucking hard as shit, and it put a dent in my fucking in my fridge, a dent in my fucking it chipped my countertop, and I just
Elena, this female rage.
Yeah, I was just so pissed off because like
yeah, I mean you have a right to be.
Yeah, because I like the trust that I had in this man, like I just felt so disrespected. You know, I was like, dude, like I trusted you, like, and then you go and do this, and like it's just like it was so embarrassing for me because like what, like we had boundaries and you go and you just film all these trans scenes behind my back, like that's not cool. And so
not at all. Not even in the slightest.
And that was in October. And so, like, in November, that's when he started bringing me to set all the time.
So that's what really started that. I was kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I was just like, oh, wow, you're going to set,
He had to bring me because, like, I just didn't trust him at all. I never, like, demanded it. Like, I have to go to set with you. But he would just bring me anyways.
He was trying to, like, make it work.
He was trying to make it, like, yeah, make up for it. So I just go to set with him all the time. And then later, ever since October, it just put a little rocky relationship put a little rocky iffiness in our relationship. And so, yeah, flash forward, the whole choking thing. And then occasionally I would, like, find him, like, DMing, like, trannies and stuff because, like, they would message me. And like,
I remember that, too.
Yeah, they would message me and they'd be like, hey, like, your man's, like, in my DMs, like wanting to shoot content and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I'd bring it up to him.
I was here during one of those, I guess, encounters or whatever, situations that got brought up. And I was just like, what the hell? And I tried not to get tied into it, but I was just like, and you showed me the messages and he was just acting all like, I was barely responding. I'm like, but you were responding.
Yeah, like
that's enough for them to, like,
exactly.
what?
You saw
like,
the message, you accepted it, you responded.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, and they're asking him like, they're like, oh, like what airport should I fly into? And he was like, oh, flying to this airport, this and that. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so later, him and I had this talk about it, and I was like, you can't do that. Like, that's not okay. And then he got mad at me, and he was like, dude, like, you're dating a porn star, this and that. And I was like, I get it, but
Gaslighting.
yeah. And I was like, but you're doing gay stuff on top of that. We set these boundaries already. Later, he was like, Elena, I'm a straight man. Like, I like girls. And he was like, I'm gonna want to fuck these girls. Like, and he was like, you're literally you're trying to box me into being a gay man.
So he just wanted what, like a pass and like an open relationship?
I don't know, but I was like, dude, like, you told me you were gonna only, like, these are boundaries that we set up, and like, you're in a relationship, you don't have to fuck these girls. Like, I'm not getting in the way of your work at all. Like, you can do your gay work all that you want, but like, I'm not shooting content with guys. I'm not doing anything with that. Like, no other guys fucking me, you know? Right. And like, you don't see me crying and bitching about it, but like, why do you need to make content with these trannies? Why do you have to fuck these trannies? And he got mad at me, and he was like, I'm a man, like, I like girls, like,
okay.
And he was like, what you're asking of me is you're trying to just box me into being in this gay box that I'm not into guys. And I was like, I get that, but you have a girlfriend, like, of course every girlfriend's gonna like demand that. Like, why do you need to be with other girls? I get you're a porn star, but like, you're a gay for paid porn star. You are a gay porn star. Like, Alpha Wolf is a gay porn star. And like, you got into training stuff at the end of it, but we set these boundaries to keep our relationship working. And I didn't mind your gay stuff. And I was kind of like, so for him to be like, you're trying to box me into this gay stuff, it was him kind of like, I'm a man and I'm doing porn, therefore I should get to fuck these girls. Like, how dare you ask me to not fuck these girls? And I'm like, you're in a relationship. And I was like, what? And so he got mad at me, and like, that was like the conversation.
That's like insane to me.
Yeah, and I was like, do you hear yourself? Like, you're literally you're getting mad at me because I don't want you to fuck other girls.
Right.
Like, because we're in a relationship together. But like, why are you getting mad at me? Like, that's normal. And so I was like, if you're not ready for a relationship with me, then we don't have to be in one. If you want to fuck these girls, like, you can go ahead and do that. And so that was that. But like, there used to be a lot of occasions where like, I would catch him doing a lot of things, and he was just like, he was like doing a lot of unloyal, unfaithful things. And like, after a while, the trust gets broken, and it's kind of like, what's even left of this relationship, you know? And I kind of just stuck around. I stayed around for the kids. But then at some point, like, I was kind of like, the trust is not there. And the respect for him isn't there for sure. And he doesn't respect me because choked me the fuck out and then kept drinking. And it's kind of like,
see, I never knew that he just kept drinking. I thought he started drinking again that night that he texted me on your phone. Do you remember that?
Yes, because we were in the hotel room together, and then later
I was watching your kids that weekend because you guys were on vacation.
So you were the babysitter, and so later me and him were out of town, and then the hotel came with a mini bar, and I fell asleep early because I was tired, and then he just stayed up all night like drinking. He drank like 5 like cans or something, and then
he outed himself.
Yeah, and then he started texting you, and he was like, oh my god, Danny, like, I drank, I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
He texted me on her phone saying, oh my god, Danny, I drank, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, you know she's gonna see this, like, and I was like, and then he literally took a photo of her sleeping and him smiling in the background. He was like definitely wasted.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of just like that. Even that was like,
the next morning I'm like, hey Elena, scroll up.
Yeah, you texted me that, and I saw that, and I was kind of just like, that's so weird. Like, you're just at a hotel room. Why don't you just go to bed? Like, why do you need to be drinking? Especially when you know, like, your alcohol habits is what choke. Like, you get violent with me, and then you're still doing that, putting me in that position where it's kind of like, I could get hurt by you. And it's kind of like, how's that cool? Like, he didn't even care about like how him being drunk could affect me, and he just kept drinking. And I was like, what? And then like the tea award, like, he just got doing more shots, and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, so after a while, I kind of just like
I think you were so mentally detached by the end of it that it was just like, oh, you want to break up with me?
It made it a lot easier because I was kind of like,
you could tell the kids that, like, oh, your father broke up with me.
Yeah, and I thought about it, and I was kind of like, I'm kind of glad that it happened, because like, this isn't someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with, you know? Like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life with worrying about like, is he gonna come home drunk one day, and then like, I'm gonna have to deal with this, and then like, just like being like irresponsible, and like, that's not something that I want to see myself having a future with. And so like, in a way, like, I'm really happy the breakup happened, because like, it just, there was a lot of things that was building up to the end of the relationship that kind of just like, I was mentally like clocked out, the respect wasn't there, this and that. And
can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you ever think that you were like ever actually in love with him? Were you in love with him ever, or was it like what was it?
Of course. Like, out of all my ex-boyfriends, this is the one that I love the most.
Well, he's also the most fresh one, but yeah.
No, but I can promise that I love him the most because like in the beginning, like you saw how obsessed I was with him. Like I would have done anything for him in the beginning.
Yeah.
And like
I thought it was like the honeymoon phase, but honestly, you really did love him.
I loved
think.
him so
I think
much.
you loved him.
Yeah, I loved him a lot. And
Do you think he loved you?
I think he loved me as well, but I feel like at the end of the day he kind of just like put himself first more. And that's why he did a lot of things that he did, disregarding my feelings. A little selfish, yeah, because like
very selfish.
Everything that I did in the beginning was like I did for us, you know, like
Yeah.
I did for our little family, and I was really invested full into the family, and I was so in love with him. Like,
I loved your family. I thought it was great. I mean, obviously, then you start hearing all these things.
Yeah, and like I feel like
really weird.
As soon as like the trans stuff, the trans scenes came out, all that, I kind of started to mentally clock out. And that's when the love kind of like started to fade away, because in the beginning I respected him so much. I loved him so much. I honored our relationship, you know, like everyone knew about us. Like towards the end, I kind of just kind of like, this is like, I feel myself getting detached because of the things that he was doing. And like, it just ruined my trust. And like, yeah. And so like at one point I really was in love with this man. But then towards the end, I kind of like lost a lot of the love because of the things that he was doing. And then I kind of was just like sticking around, still being with him for the sake of like the kids and like a family, because they've already had their like their mom walk out on them. So I didn't want to be another woman to walk out on them.
How do you think things will go like going forward? Do you like, can you see yourself co-parenting, or like what do you think?
As far as like the kids go, it's kind of just like at the end of the day, like they're gonna have their dad's back.
Yeah,
that's their blood, you know.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like
100%.
Their dad is such like he's such like a can't like a ticking time bomb ready to explode.
Right.
And I just know if I do stick around and I'm at the hit of it again, they won't have my back. Like the kids will for sure not have my back, because like the oldest one saw me get choked the fuck out, saw me getting trashed. I was screaming for help, and he still wouldn't, like, he asked me to not call the cops to save his dad, which I get. And like I don't blame him, like that's your dad, but it's kind of like you knew what your dad
got put in a really tough
like you knew
situation.
you knew what your dad was doing was wrong. You saw how helpless I was, and it's kind of like when you knew like the one thing that could help me was the cops, and you asked me not to call because you wanted to like have your dad's back, which I totally understand. But like I just know like in the future, like that's what would happen. Like they wouldn't have my back again, and I don't think they would, because like that's their dad. That's his kids. That's their blood. And like they side with that. And it's just like I kind of just have to realize that. And it's kind of like, if I were to stick around even longer and co-parent, like if there was a situation in the future where like him and I have like another conflict, I would be on my own. I would be on my own entirely. And to me, like that's, even if like he was completely in the wrong, I would still be alone, because the kids would have his back. And they would go wherever he goes.
That must be really tough. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's tough, but it's kind of like I can't stick around and be a part of that family when it's going to be just very me against like them the whole time, because no one's going to have my back.
Yeah.
And I was
understandable.
I was put through so much. I went through so much in this relationship, and like I was like alone in it a lot of the time, you know?
God.
And so as far as like co-parenting, I'm just like, I kind of want to just like distance from like them entirely, because detach. And like I love the kids so much, but like I need to put myself first, and like this is like a dangerous road for me to go down. And like I know I'm gonna be at the hit of it only. I'm only gonna be the one affected by it. If anything happens in the future, it would just be me. I'd be at the hit again. And it's kind of like knowing that now I can prevent it, or kind of just like get more involved into it, and like I'm gonna have to prevent it.
You know, I'm glad that you are thinking clearly.
Yeah, I kind of have to. I mean, like,
yeah.
It just sucks because like I never wanted to be another woman to walk out of their kid's life, but like the dad is just such like,
it's complicated. It's hard.
Yeah, the dad is like just a ticking time bomb, and like I don't want to be there for the next explosive. Like,
I mean, they called you mom. Like, they definitely loved you. You loved them.
I love them so much. I love them.
Yeah. They're great kids. They really are really good kids.
But like, I just can't be around that because I've already been through so much, like
you
dealing
have to put
with
yourself
it.
First, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have their dad.
Yeah. If there was a certain point where they were like, "Please take us," then I would in a heartbeat. But I'm not gonna take them from their dad. I'm not gonna make them pick sides and be like, who do you want to be with? I'm not gonna bring that upon them, you know. But like, I just know, like in the future, like they wouldn't have my back. And like I knowing that now I can save myself and just get out of that situation. And it's like the most like shittiest thing to do because I don't like doing that and I didn't want to do that, but like I saw where my future would be headed if I like stuck around for that. And I just don't want to be there when he like explodes again and then like no one has my back. I'm at the hit of it again.
You know, I think it's still, I mean, yeah, it's been what, 2-3 weeks maybe. It's still so fresh. Do you see him coming back, trying to get back with you? Like how do you think the future's gonna play out?
I don't think that's gonna be
an issue,
only because like we're gonna get into like the whole God thing. So
right.
That was just like leading up to like our breakup.
Okay.
And so
do you feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders?
100%. And so like when he broke up with me, the reason why I didn't beg or ask for him back was because like of all this stuff that was leading up to it already. And then so when he broke up with me, he got very spiritual, started to find God. And I thought it was the most weirdest thing ever because like I would be like talking to him like, dude, like when are you gonna come back? Like you just left your kid. Like when are you gonna come back? And he was like just like on cloud like 15, like in the happiest mood and just being like, I've come to alignment with my body, alignment with my soul. And these past few days I've just been spending time with me and God is inside me. And then he was just like he was being so cryptic with the things that he was saying. And it was just the weirdest thing ever. And he'd be like,
It sounds very, you know, odd.
No, it was so odd because he went from being so against like God because
and like organized religion.
Yeah, because like he thought it was a cult. He said it was like this and that.
I've had a conversation with him before.
Yeah, and he's even talked about it many times on the podcast. He's expressed how he felt like, and it's always been like a negative opinion towards it because he spent his whole life being in the whole like God religious thing, and then later it like totally fucked him over, so he just like went against it entirely. And then
I think he's definitely going through something.
And then he goes to Bakersfield, comes back, and then now it's like all in love with God. And then he is like talking like, I mean, on his Twitter, he's like preaching wisdom and just like saying all these things.
I don't have Twitter, so I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, I have the screenshots. I'll post them in a second. But he's like on Twitter just like preaching and talking about like finding yourself, and even the things he's posting on Instagram, like just like spirituality stuff. And it was just a lot. And like, I don't even like that as it is. And so like having to just hear all that, I was kind of like, oh my God, like I feel
you were turned off instantly.
I was turned off instantly, and I was like, what the hell happened to him? And so me and my friends were kind of just like, what happened to him? Like, how do you just come back and is like in love with God? And his bio, he would like in his bio it says Jesus is king. He started following all these like church sanctuaries and stuff.
What was that one church that he went to? Okay, I think religion's great if you want to believe in whatever you want to believe in. I believe in God. You know, we all have our own version of God, whatever. But what was the church that he went to called? Remember you had his location?
Yeah, this was a few days ago.
Singles for God or Singles for Christ?
He went to this church and it was like Orange County Singles for Christ.
That just sounds like a dating app. Like Christian Mingle.
Yeah, but like it was like at this place on the street, and then like he was there and I was like, what is actually happening right now? Like, how do you just come back and like is like in love with God? And I just didn't understand it. But like everything he was saying was just like, it sounded crazy, you know, because I heard him speak so passionately when we were together about like how much he doesn't believe in that anymore, and how like
feel like he totally 360'd and he's just like a completely different person.
180 now. He like 180.
180.
Yeah, 360 is when you change and go back to how you were. 180 is just like that.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. And so yeah, he just did a 180 on me. And then yeah, it's weird for me because like I've heard him speak so passionately about how like he thought like religion was a cult, this and that, and how he doesn't believe in it, and just like how it fucked him over and how he like absolutely like couldn't stand it. And then now he's like all about it, loves it, and it's just kind of like, what? I was like, what the fuck happened while you were gone? To where you come back, break up with me. And then when I asked him, I was like, oh, like you broke up with me to go party, to go like get drunk, go to jail. That's like, it was like, was it worth it? And he was like, yes, this is the path God wanted me to take. This is the path that I'm on. And I was like,
cop out. That's such bullshit.
And I was like, the path that God wanted you to take was to go to the Abbey, get drunk, and then go like what?
Go to jail.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like sure, but like everything he was talking about like just wasn't making sense. And so he finally comes back, and then he comes over and he's like, I've been learning like mixed martial arts, this and that, like, can I show you real quick? And he started like doing all these kicks in my house, like kicking and like fighting the air. And
that sounds like literally drugs, honestly.
And then I don't know. And later he was like, it's, he started moving. He was like, it's crazy how like my body's just moving like this, like the way that I'm aligned with my body. And he even went on like, he started going on Instagram talking about like his alignment with his soul, his spirituality, and just preaching on Instagram. And like,
so he is a completely different person right now.
Of course. And he's just like all about God right now. And like, yeah.
Do you think that this relationship changed you as a person? Do you feel like you grew at all? Like
100%, because like never mind have I ever had a guy put hands on me the way that he did.
Yeah, I mean, that must change you.
Yeah, and like I've always had like a short tolerance for a lot of things.
Right.
But like with him, because the kids were involved, a lot of things that I would have left for, like I stuck around, and it made me feel like a bitch, you know, like because like normally I would have just left right away.
You guys did get together pretty fast. Everything happened really fast in the beginning. And so do you see yourself like, you know, taking things slower if you ever tend to
of
like
course,
date again?
but
would you ever date a guy with kids again?
I don't think so, because it complicates so much. Like
Yeah.
a lot of things that I wouldn't tolerate, I had to like stay. I didn't have to, but I chose to stay anyway for the sake of like the kids, because I was thinking about everyone else but myself. And so I had to like, it made me feel like because I stuck around for those things, like he just kept doing it because he knew like she wouldn't leave. She would have left the first time. She would have left like as soon as she's like caught me the first time, but she didn't. She's still here, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And he did. He kept doing it. Like I didn't leave when he shot the trans scenes. Hit up more trannies. I didn't leave when he choked me out.
He was like
kept drinking,
finding like, you know, like how much he can get away with.
Yeah, and like he just kept doing it, and it's my fault because I should have left, but I didn't because I stuck around for the kids. And so I learned that like I need to have like a line and follow it and follow through with it, because like when you just keep doing like letting, like when you like have an opinion about a certain thing and like you're like, I will leave if you do this, and then they do and you don't, they're not gonna take you seriously. They're not gonna respect. They're gonna keep disrespecting you. And like I learned the hard way, you know. And he just kept disrespecting me because he didn't respect my wishes. If he did, he wouldn't have kept doing what he was doing, but he kept doing it, you know. And so yeah, that's that. It taught me that like I need to just really stand my ground and really like go through with what I'm saying from now on. And yeah, I just like going forward, I don't think I would ever date another man in the industry, only because like
that was hard enough for you at first too, right?
As it is. And like
yeah,
just having to deal with him constantly being hit up by trans girls.
He really put you through the ringer. Like
yeah, like, he did. And just him always being hit up by people wanting to like collab and film content, him just being around that industry where like it's just like all sex related. Like it was just like I knew what I was getting myself into, but I didn't think that he would engage back because he told me he wouldn't, you know.
You trusted him. He was your boyfriend.
I trusted him, yeah. And so I didn't think that like I didn't think I had anything to worry about up until like everything just started coming out, and I was like, oh my god, oh my fucking god, like what the fuck. And it just sucks, but
it does suck. And you know, I'm here for you. Like, you're my sister. I love you
so
much.
Of course. Like, no,
yeah.
You and Brittany were here for me the entire time. And like Brittany's heard me complain and cry about so many things.
Brittany,
you know?
Kate, if you're watching,
I love you so much, you know.
We
but
love
like
you.
Yeah, because like Brittany and Danny, like they were there when like I went through all of this, and they were the first to hear about it.
It's hard, you know, like, you know, being there for your friend, and you know what you want to say, you know what you would say if it were you know what you would do if it were you, but it's not you, it's your friend, and you kind of just have to let them do their thing and, you know,
learn the hard way. And I did. And it just like it was I was put through so much of just like him and like trannies, and just like
you're just done with it.
I'm just done with it. And it's kind of like when we broke up, I was kind of like, oh my god, like now he's gonna fuck all these trannies. He's already following all these trannies are gonna hit him up. And I was like really sad about that.
Right.
But then after seeing how he turned out about being just super spiritual and all about God, I'm kind of just like, you know what, like let them have him, because like it's gonna be a matter of time before like his true colors shows. And I was there, I witnessed his true colors, you know. And like I got the shit end of the stick for it. And like honestly at this point, like anyone can have him, because I don't want to deal with him. I really don't. Like anyone could have him, any trainer could DM him. Like he's a hot guy, and they can have him, because I just don't want to be around that.
You're checked out.
I'm so checked out. And like I was put through so much being with this man that it's kind of like, just get him off of my hands. Like, have him take him.
Your next relationship's gonna be like super private. Like, you're
I'm
not
gonna
gonna let
keep
anyone.
it-
Don't post him. Don't
Yeah.
say his name.
And another thing that I regret the most entirely is how much I put him on. Because, like,
on the podcast.
I brought him on the podcast. Yeah, I brought him on my
Right.
podcast. I made him my co-host. And, like, we've already shot, like, so many episodes.
You have a lot of episodes with him.
Yeah, we've shot so many that I haven't released yet. And it's kind of like, now that we're broken up, it's kind of like,
Do I post them still? Do I?
I mean, I'm
not?
obviously going to post
You're
them.
gonna post them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You have people that are are waiting for their episode to be released. and
Yeah,
stuff.
but it just...
I'm on a few of those, by the way.
Yeah, you are. And it just sucks because, like, now that we're, like, not together, he's going to continue to get the publicity from me. He's going to continue to get the clout from me. He's going to continue to just get his name out there.
You know, I don't think after people watch this, I don't think people are gonna be wanting to be, around him or, I don't know.
I mean, like, there's trannies who just will, like, be like, oh my God, but he's so hot. I'll fuck him
they don't,
anyways.
yeah, they don't have
They don't care.
self-respect.
They don't have respect for themselves. And they don't really kind of just, like, they're missing the whole point of this whole, like, video of kind of just, like, of what I went through.
It's about raising awareness. I cannot talk today. Awareness for, toxic relationships, like violent relationships,
And just, like, it was mentally draining as well.
and for you to tell your side, get
And,
that
like,
closure, let everyone know, let your fans, like,
yeah.
have an
And this isn't
explanation.
one-sided at all. I'm very, like, open to both. If he ever wanted to come on and tell his side, I'll sit him down right here anyways, and we can go through everything I just said, and he can deny what's true and what's not. But for the most part, everything I said is true, because I'm not a liar, But, like, he's lied so much in the relationship that's kind of like, I've never lied once, and he's lied so much. And I don't want to be with a liar. I just don't want to be with anyone like that. And I just don't see myself having a future with any guy like that. And yeah, that's that. So I regret putting him on so much on the podcast that, like, now, even though, like, we're broken up, I'm gonna have to still put these episodes out. People are still gonna, like, know who he is. His name will always be out there. And it's like, I regret doing that so much because, like,
I mean,
I'm gonna have
as
to
one would, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to continue to, like, see these episodes, relive those memories again. And it's kind of like, yeah, there's so many times where, like, him and I weren't good, but we would film, like, episodes anyways.
It was like work, right?
Yeah. And so, like, I just regret that so much because, like, if it were up to me, I would even upload any more of those episodes. Like, I would just, like, keep the ones that I've already released and just erase the rest. But, like, they need to be uploaded. They need to be out there. And so people are waiting for them. So that's my biggest regret, is how much I put him on the podcast and how much I kind of just, like, turned everything out. And,
Hey,
like,
you win some, you lose some, and
Yeah.
you were learning along the way. No
like-
one's gonna judge you. It's okay.
yeah, like, I really just wanted to put him out there because I was so in love with him. I was so, like,
Head over heels.
yeah, and I just wanted, like, to put him out there. Like, I wanted him to be included in everything that I did. I wanted him to be a part of everything that I did.
You were a unit,
Yeah, and I was like, we were like a team, and so, like, I wanted to benefit us. I wanted to benefit our family. Like, I wanted to just really just, like, go full force, and, like, I really went all in, and I was like, be a part of this with me, and, like, it just sucks that, like,
It sucks the way things turned out.
yeah. And so, like, more of the stories kind of just, like, he left me to go find God, and now he's, like, all about spirituality. He's, like, all about church, and I don't know who he is now, and, like, I say that because, like, it's a completely different person than who I knew. The man that I knew, like, is
No longer there.
no longer there. Now he's, like, this bubble of, like, happiness, just cloud nine on, like, some sick shit with, like, God. And I'm, like, watching that, and I'm like, who even is this person? Like, he's so up God's ass, and, like, everything he's doing is, like, relating to God.
Holier than thou. Like,
Yeah.
I know more than you, Elena. I'm so enlightened kind of vibes. Yeah.
But it's just, like, everything he's saying, so I'm just like, I'm aligned with my body, I'm aligned with my soul, this and that. And, like, it just all sounds like crazy talk to me, And he, like, posted this photo of him, like, getting cummed in, like, a screenshot from, like, his scene. And he captioned it, like, and as he came, he saw the gates of heaven open or something like that. And it's
You're kidding.
he's, like, relating, like, religious, like, spiritual God stuff to, like, a
His
photo
porn.
of him his gay porn. It was, like, I don't know what it was, but I'll, like, link it up here in a second.
That's literally so.
But, like, if you go to his
crazy.
Twitter, everything is, like, spiritual stuff, him preaching, and just being all about God. And so, like, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what that's all about. but it's just the weirdest thing to me, and I can't fathom it. You can't even fathom it.
We
No
know
one
the,
can.
We know the guy, and I think it's the craziest thing.
Yeah, because like we actually all met him and hung out with him, so you see him the certain way, and now you're seeing how he is now. It's kind of like, what? All my friends, like, we were like just talking for days, like, okay, what do you think he like? Did he do some kind of drugs in Bakersfield where he like now came back and is like hallucinating, and like
You just don't know.
you just don't
And
know.
clearly, you can't trust him. So what he says really doesn't.
Yeah, and
hold
so
up, so.
I'm seeing him just become all about God, and it's kind of like, how are you gonna like preach God and do this when they be a gay porn star at that?
I mean, I think that if you have your head screwed on straight, you can definitely do that. But I don't think his head is screwed on straight.
But that's that, and yeah, so like, how am I doing after the breakup? I'm fine. Like, at first I was really sad. I was so sad because
I
like,
remember.
yeah,
You still, I know you, and you didn't really want to talk about it, but I knew you were sad.
like I was so sad because he just broke up with me out of nowhere, and I didn't know why. But then like, being like me, I'm like, he just broke up with me out of nowhere, and then went for like MIA for like a week straight.
Right.
And then he's like following all these trannies. I'm like, oh my God.
Cross dressers, everything in between.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like he's already like doing that so quickly. Like at least give me like you don't got to do that quick, you know? But it's kind of like, now he's single. He's like, I can do this now.
He probably feels liberated in the weirdest way too. He's just so like out of touch with what's actually happening in reality and taking responsibility.
And so like he's just following all these trannies. I'm seeing that. I'm getting hurt by that because I'm like, wow, that was so quick. Like, it hasn't even been 2 days yet, and you're already following all these new trannies.
You're like, did you even care about me?
Yeah, and it's kind of like I'm seeing that, and then he's at the Abbey too, and I'm like, dude, really? Like,
come on.
Like, you just broke up with me. Now you're gonna go like live your life while I'm having to deal with so much already. And so it's kind of like, I was so sad. I thought it was
and taking care of his kids.
Yeah, I thought it was so fucked up. But then later, seeing how he became all about God and spirituality, so I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I don't feel bad anymore because, like,
good, you shouldn't.
I don't have to deal with that. Like, I right now, I don't feel bad at all. I'm no longer sad because, like, I feel sad for him because I don't know if this is kind of like him going manic or what it is.
I think it might be something towards that, or leaning towards that at least.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I feel bad for him because it's, I don't know if it's like an identity crisis or what it is, but like seeing how he was in the beginning versus now, I'm kind of just like, this isn't like this doesn't just happen like overnight. So how did it happen overnight?
I guess no one will ever know.
And so that's that. So he left me to go find God, and now he's one with God, super spiritual, and I'm just, yeah, that's that.
That's that. I, as your best friend, I kind of know everything, but, I mean, where do you plan on going from here?
Well, I mean, he's on the hall still, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I'm kind of just like, I won't go over there and bother you.
That's so complicated.
I'm like, don't come over here and bother me, you know?
I just, I worry for you.
Yeah.
I'm scared for you. I really am. I don't know how the future's going to play out with him right down the hall, but I don't know. I mean, if you ever need anything, I'm there and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. So far, it's like been fine. Like, he hasn't really bothered me. I haven't really bothered him.
How long were you guys together? Has it been a year yet, or has it?
I think it's been like 9 months.
Okay.
But it felt like longer because everything just
so
happened
much has
so
happened.
fast. Yeah.
You rushed into it, and it was like one thing after the other. Like, it was crazy, and it was just intense. It was really intense, and yeah, I'm just sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, like, what good stuff was there? Like, what?
Obviously,
any
like,
positive things you can take away from this like learning experience?
Like, I feel like I'm just sitting here talking about the negative aspects of it, but like,
There was a lot of negatives.
there was a lot of negatives, but there was way
good.
more negative things than there was like good things.
yeah.
But like, he's not a bad person. Like, we've had a like.
Do you still have love for each other, or do you have love for him?
I don't really want to think about him. I don't really care about him, you know?
Do you wish him well, or do you?
I wish him to get better, like, I really do, but
You wish him to.
because I don't know if
Yeah.
this is really like him or if he's like on something, but regardless, it's kind of like I wish him to get better, you know?
I think he will. I think he will get better one day and come knocking and say I fucked up, like,
Yeah.
big time. By then by now you're already moved on, but
Yeah.
like, I just want you to know that like you're free, and
Yeah.
like I don't want you to go back. And
I don't want to go back,
I know,
because
I
like, I
know.
saw the dark like the darkness
It was so
in the
dark.
relationship. That's
Yeah.
kind of like, if I go back with him, that would still be there. And I want to avoid that.
The
But
good things was like, family structure for a
Yeah,
little
and, like-
while. It shows you something that you never really experienced.
yeah,
with,
like, he was a good
husband
partner,
and,
like,
kids.
to a certain extent, because like, I don't know how much of it was true and how much of it was real. And so, like, I can't say and be like, oh, yeah, he was good. He was loyal. He was honest, because he
You
wasn't.
just don't know. Yeah.
Like, his personality was great.
And how do you really regain trust? It's one
Yeah.
of the hardest things you can do, and I just don't know if that's something
Yeah,
that
like,
would
I
ever
thought he was
happen.
loyal. He wasn't. I thought he was honest. He wasn't.
He's got physical.
I thought he was trustworthy. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was like the dream perfect man. He wasn't. And I saw a comment in my videos, and they're like all like they're saying like, this man is just literally telling Elena what she wants to hear. And I thought about that so many times, and I was like, oh my God, he really was. Like, he was telling me everything that I wanted to hear that made me fall in love with him even more, because I was like, this
You were
man's
blinded
perfect.
by love. Yeah.
Yeah, and then his actions were different, like, oh, I will give up training porn for you. I will never like do this. I won't do that. I'll stop drinking. And I heard those words and I loved it. And then the actions were that he did the complete opposite. So it's kind of like, he really did tell me everything I wanted to hear. And countless times I've defended him, like,
You did.
in the comments. I've defended him. Like, I've made myself look so bad.
Real
like,
life situations. I've seen it. Certain
like, people would always call me
situations.
out for like being with him and being like, you said this, you said that, and I would find excuses to defend him. And then like I've let myself go so many times in this relationship, whether it's like defending him online, sitting through all like the disrespect, and like I just became like a weak bitch in this relationship, all to make it work, like.
You used to talk shit on girls like that.
Yeah, I used to hate those girls. I'd be like, bitch, leave. And like, now that I was in it,
You kind of understood.
I became the girl that like just couldn't leave, and it made me
funny
look,
how that happened.
yeah, it made me look dumb, and like I felt so dumb. I made myself look like a fool, and I regret like a lot of it, because like he was a good partner to me. He helped out a lot, but knowing how much I let myself go in that, I regret.
But you can't take anything back. I mean, everything's already happened.
Yeah, you can
just
only
have to
learn
move
from
forward.
it. Yeah. But that relationship was just so like, it was so good, but then it was also so bad, because like the thing with him is kind of like, when he's good, he's so good,
Right.
but when he's bad, he's so bad.
I've seen it.
There's like no
Blake
in
was-
between.
He was good and he was amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like with the kids, with everything, with you and stuff. Like, I've seen it. And so when I would just hear these things, I was like, oh my God, like, but then I could also kind of see it by being out with him, drinking
Yeah.
and stuff. So it wasn't too far off. But yeah.
I feel like with him, he had a lot of demons that he didn't like dealt with, and so like when he did drink, they all came out.
Yeah, drinking will do that too.
And
for
then
sure.
it just sucks, because like I had to take it and had to deal with it. Like, it was all like projected onto me.
Mm-hmm.
His guilt, his demons, like everything was just all projected onto me. And that was what was the most fucked up part about it all. But yeah, like as far as our relationship goes, kind of like, we're not together anymore. We're broken up.
I am excited for this new era of single Elena, finding yourself, branching out and, getting bigger and better,
Yeah, and like, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to learn a lot from. I learned a lot from
You're
this,
gonna
and
be
like,
okay.
I don't want to date for a hot minute.
Of
Like,
course.
I don't want another relationship for a hot while, because like this was just a lot to deal with.
That was a lot for him too. I mean, he jumped from relationship into you, right?
Yeah, and I just like, I don't want to deal with any guys at the moment. I kind of just like want to just focus on like myself,
Right.
and my wig company, and just like my
Right.
podcast, and just kind of like doing other things by myself, and like just it was a lot, and I just don't want to deal with it again. And I don't want to be in another relationship, and if I am, I'm going to keep it so private.
I think you should definitely keep it private. I think especially, with the platform that you have and like, the viewers and stuff, I think it's best to, keep it a little more like low profile, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I would,
I would too. And it's kind of like, it just sucks that I introduced him to this whole like new like audience of trans girls,
Yeah.
and like, he's a hot looking guy, so like they're obviously gonna want to fuck him.
He's hot, but I mean, nobody wants to be with somebody who abuses women.
Yeah, so I mean, I just know for a fact that I did so much. I loved him so much, and like,
You loved him really good.
and I know for a fact that he will never find another woman that will love him the way that I did, and I can say that 100%, because
With confidence.
even
right.
though like he did all those fucked up things, I still sat through it, and I still like loved him, and I still cared for him up until like all that love just kind of vanished. And I did so much for the kids. I invested everything into them. Like,
You did. You were great to them. I saw it firsthand.
thank you. So
Like I was worried at first. I was like, oh my God, he has kids. Like, they're not babies, like whatever. I mean, which babies are actually a lot harder, but like they're kids with like, feelings and like, like being kids, And you were so good with them, like so good. They loved her, like they love you, like you were really good.
there are countless times where he would always like come over and he like the oldest one, he'd be like, please don't ever leave us. Like, you're the best we've ever had.
They called you mom.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, it just sucks that it has to play out this way, but like I kind of just have to put myself first, because like
And I think that's really mature of you.
if I stick around, like I'm gonna like, it's just gonna affect me. And it's kind of like I've already like taken so many hits, and I just you pick and choose your battles, and this is a battle that I will for sure just keep losing every time. And so I just kind of have to like accept my defeat and walk away from it entirely. But
Well, hi, I think it was, pretty big of you to come on here and, be so vulnerable, because I think a lot of the times in other like videos of yours and stuff, people are like, I want to see the real Elena. I want to see this. I want to see that. So you coming on here regardless of everything and everything that's happened, I think it takes, a lot. And
believe me, I would never let anyone know about this, because like it's embarrassing.
It's not though. I mean, it's life, and life happens,
Like the way that I carry myself, kind of just like I want to present myself as like this boss bitch all the time. Like, fuck you. Like, I'm the baddest bitch. Like, I'm a baddie.
I think everyone's going to really appreciate you telling your story.
Thank you.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
so like having to come on here and sit here and talk about like
Yeah, it's
how
not
much of a
easy.
fool I was and how like much of a bitch I was, like I don't want to do that. It's embarrassing.
You
It's so
don't, but
embarrassing.
it shows like a lot of character and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the like, if him and I weren't so public, I would have never made this video.
Of course.
But because he's so public, I owe everyone an explanation, and they're gonna wonder like why we're not together. And so like I have to just kind of like bite my tongue, and like I have to like admit to how foolish I was, and like let everyone know like how much of a bitch I was, because like it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, like what I went through, like having all these other trannies like DM me and being like, oh hey, your man's like in my DMs. And it's kind of like, I told him this too. I was like, any tranny that you hit up after me will either be a fan of mine or like she knows who the fuck I am. I was like, you have the top tier woman right now, and it's kind of like you want to leave me to go
Fuck
talk
around.
to go talk to all these girls who will literally ask you to take the photo when they meet me. And it's kind of like, that's what you want. Like my thing that I always say, it baffles me how once men have tasted caviar, they settle with catfish.
Right, you've said that before.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that's how it was. Like he really did have the top tier woman, and it's kind of like you left me to go like
Do what you did.
entertain those girls instead. So you make your bed, not lie in it. But yeah, that's that. That's my relationship of why we broke up, and that's where he is right now. Like if you guys look at his stories and stuff and his tweets, like it's all there. He's just very spiritual.
It is all there.
So that's that. And yeah.
Hey, well, thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me.
I know I've never interviewed anyone before. I'm just like, okay. But yeah, of course.
Is there anything you want to add into this of the breakup and everything?
I think I'm just happy that you have become so, clear-headed and stuff. And so, you're finally seeing everything for what it is. Yeah.
Believe me, I didn't want to.
You didn't want to at all, but I think it's pretty cool that you're letting your viewers know like everything that's happening in your life, and like, I want you to know like you're not alone. I love you so much. Brittany's there. You're totally gonna be okay. I mean, you've always been like the strongest person I know, so it's like,
Thank you.
yeah. So I think you'll be okay.
Well, I mean, like that's that. Breakups are hard, but we can only do what we can to move on from them, and that's that. That's my breakup episode right there. So if there's any questions, you guys just leave them in the comments down below. But yeah, that's that. And if he wants to come on here and like share his side, I'm more than welcome to have him on as well.
Right.
I don't think I have any bad blood against him. I really don't.
Good.
Because like he's there and I'm here, and I'm not out to get him or be a bitter bitch or anything, but like we're broken up, and that's that. So I don't have any bad blood against him. I just hope he gets well, and I hope that this new way of life finding God is like, I don't know if it's
actually works for him. I
don't know if it's actually who he is, or if he's like on like a psychedelic or something. But like if he is on psychedelic, then I hope he gets better. If not, then like I hope he finds what he's looking for. But that's that. And yeah, I don't have any hatred towards him. And as for any girls who like do want to hit him up, like just be mindful
of
And, like,
everything that went down.
I just said,
Yeah.
you know, like, because, like, these things, these character traits of him will always be there, you know? And all it takes is the right amount of liquor to bring them out. And
Very
so, any trans girls, if you guys want to, like, hit him up or do anything, like, just be mindful of that and look out for yourself. He's a good person. He's really sweet, but just don't go drinking with him. Just don't do any of that. Don't get him too drunk, because you will have to deal with a very dark side of him, and it's unsafe for me, and I don't want it to be unsafe for you. So just be mindful of that. But other than that, he's a really good guy to a certain extent, and that's that. But yeah.
Well, thank you guys for, tuning in, and thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And yeah, until next time, you guys, stay tuned.
Let's get demonetized.
Let's get demonetized.
Bye, everyone.